getting close to this fascinating Tractate Gittin. We are on page 87, 22 lines from the top of the page. I would like to start with the Rambam. Rambam Sefer Nashim Ilchot גירושין, chapter 4. Here we talk about the case, can be many reasons, that they combine a get for several people, for 5 people, Mr. So-and-so, missing so-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, missing so-and-so, etc., in one combination of documents. So here is the Rambam. It is written in the get, in the bill of divorce, we, so-and-so and so-and-so, have hereby divorced our wives, so-and-so and so-and-so. And it continues until the completion of the formula of a bill of divorce. It is not valid, because 2 women cannot divorce with 1 bill of divorce. It's also Shulchan Aruch Ibn Ezer 130. The bill of divorce, the Rambam said, is initially written in the plural. We have hereby divorced, and it then states in detail that so-and-so has hereby divorced so-and-so, and so-and-so has hereby divorced so-and-so. It is a valid get. Okay. So we have this disputation between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan said that if you have a bill of divorce, klal, which means that you have 1 time zman echad to all the bill of divorce, even each pair is independently written, as long as they're connected with the vav achibur. Remember vav, the emet, vav, it's fine. Reish Lakish said you have to put all the names at the beginning. So at the beginning of the document, no comparison. But when you talk about secular documentations, so sometimes you have a title, like introductory title, and you put all the names, and then you go to details. So here Reish Lakish said, if you put all the names, Mr. with Mrs., Mr., Mrs., etc., and then you go to the details, it's fine. So basically the Rif and the Ritva, the big halachic books, they say that we follow Rabbi Yochanan. You don't need to have all the names together in order to paint it as a klal, as a general term. Even Rabbi Yochanan said that if you mention all of them at the beginning and then you go to a specification for each of them, it's good for all of them. Anyway, so here's the discussion. They challenge Reish Lakish view. Amar לרבינה, 22 lines from the top. אמר לרבינה לרב אשי, לריש לקיש דאמר זמן אחד לכולם, נמי תופס הבי, ואיך דמי כלל, לכתיב בהכי, ענו פלוני ופלוני גירשתנו את נשותינו פלוני ופלונית. So here he said clearly, you have a formula, and you have a general wording, and he said, we, so and so and so and so, hereby divorce our wife, so and so and so and so. נמצאו שתי נשים מתגרשות בגט אחד. So you have here a situation where you have 2 women that found being divorced in 1 get. So all these women are divorced with the same bill of divorce that contain a list of several couples. Why? Because the Ritva explained it's 1 language. והתורה אמרה, וכתב לה. The Torah said in Deuteronomy 24, וכתב לה, he should write for her ספר כריתות, the book that you cut the relationship. Meaning, לה, ולא, לה ולחברתה, and not for her and for another woman. So each woman, obviously, requires a separate get. So the question obviously is on Reish Lakish. How come he said that when it's come to a get, you can have a nusach klali, a general term, without give each pair independently? So the Gemara said, the hadar katav ploni geirash plonit, ufloni geirash plonit. So it means you have a separate get to each and every woman. So therefore they all can divorce in 1 get. But the general term said that you have here the Eidim, knew that it's 5 different Gittin, and the signature applies to all. אמר לרבינה לרב אשי, מה ישנה מהדתנה? הכותב כל נכסיו לשני עבדיו. Someone is very wealthy individual, for example, and he has servants. And he decided, and it happens, to write for those servants his entire estate. So what do? Kanu. They are both have the acquisition of all of his estates, meaning each of them have free, ומשחררים זה את זה, and they emancipate, meaning they get free, one to the other, in order to take away half of the kinyan that each of them have with the other. That's, if you remember when we study Mishnayot in the Tractate Pag-aaral, chapter 3, we have a statement that Eved, the servant, is part of the estate of his owner. But since they are both two servants acquired together the estate, so each of them have half for himself, and they said, ולאו קימנה, אז הגמרא said, ולאו קימנה בשני שטרות. So didn't we said on page 42 that here we have two documents, one for each of those slaves, stating that he is giving him all of his property, and he gave them to them in a way simultaneously. So each slave needs his own shtar shichur, bill of emancipation. So you cannot divorce two women in one get. So we now have two braytot that support the two views. One Rabbi Yochanan, one Reish Lakish. Tana keveder Rabbi Yochanan, Tana keveder Reish Lakish. Tana keveder Rabbi Yochanan, חמישה שכתבו בתוך הגט. If you have 5 people that in the one bill of divorce, איש פלוני מגרש פלונית, או פלוני פלונית, ופלוני פלונית, all the list, וזמן אחד לכולם, and it's one time the get for all of them, והעדים מלמטה, and the witnesses sign on the bottom, כולם כשרים, they are all accepted, ותינתן לכל אחת ואחת, and it should be given to each one of these women. But if it was written independently, זמן לכל אחד ואחד, a time for each and every one of those pairs, והעדים מלמטה, and the witnesses on the bottom, עת שהעדים נקראים עמו, only the pair that the signature of the witnesses was written there, kasher. רבי יהודה בן בתר אומר, אם יש רווח ביניהם, between each pair, פסול, ואם לאו kasher, שאין זמן מפסיקן. So that's basically support the view of Rabbi Yochanan. תניא כבדי ריש לקיש, 5 שכתבו כלל בתוך הגט. אנו פלוני ופלוני, גירשנו את נשותינו פלונית ופלונית, פלוני גירש פלונית ופלוני גירש פלונית, וזמן אחד לכולם, והעדים למטה כולם כשרים ותינתן לכל אחד ואחת. Obviously. זמן לכל אחד ואחד, ורווח לכל אחד ואחד, space that divided between them to each of them, והעדים למטה and the witness on the bottom, עת שהעדים נקראים עמו, which is the last one. So, כשר. רבי מאיר אומר, אף על פי שאין רווח ביניהם, פסול שהזמן מפסיקן, because it's written to each and every one of them independently, so that's separate between them. ולריש לקיש, מה עירי הזמן לכל אחד ואחד, הזמן אחד לכולם נמי תופס הווי, הנמי לאחד אלו ערבינו מעיקרא, that he did not mix up all the names together. So he just independently mentioned each pair by itself. אבל אחא, in the case of the Braita, the ערבינו מעיקרא, that he combined all the names together, יפליג לו זמן, if it was a time that divided between the pair and, so it's considering a tofes to each and every one of them. And therefore the early Gittin, it's invalid. Law, if it wasn't a time that divided between them, law. So all of them are befitting and ksherim, and it's God. So basically, in a way, Rashi explained that the Gemara returned from the original assumptions and go that the second part of the Braita deal with the same one that we talked earlier in the Braita, that you put all the pairs together. So it's the get considering a klal as a general, even you go to the pratim, to the details later. Now we go to the Mishnah. This is a fascinating Mishnah. The Mishnah dealing with a 2 bill of divorce, 2 get. So Tosfot and Rashba, we basically go by that avenue. שני גיטין שכתבן זה בצד זה. Okay, imagine you have a scribe. He's writing the Gittin. You have these 2 stands, and he writes one next to the other. ושני עדים עברים באים מתחת זה לתחת זה. So it means you have the first get, and you have the name so and so, let's call him Reuven, son of so and so, and the other name, son of so and so. And here, the name of the person, witness, the name of a person's witness. So, under these two Gittin, you have two signatures. If you've seen the Gemarrah, I think you have some descriptions. So, each one is under the get on the right side, toward the left side. That's the way Rashi explains. And in my book, on Rashi, I wrote extensively in this Mishnah. Elat. What is Rashi meant here when he said, Klomar bno shel Yosef Shimon? Basically, there is a disputation here between the Rashi and the Rambam. Rashi said, it's pages and pages. Basically, Rambam said that they agree, the Yevanim sign in the opposite way, because it was the opposite way of the Lashon HaKodesh. But anyway, you're welcome to read. The Ravid on the Reef, if following Rashi, the Rambam and the two, Even HaEzer Kuf Klamedalet, go the other way. The question is, if you have chikui, if you have copies of one of the edim that contain the Greek's name with the Hebrew name, and he wrote it in the opposite way. Anyway, as I said, it's two different avenues between Rashi and the Rambam. Welcome. I wrote in several pages just the abbreviation of the Machloket based on this Klomar and the Rashi. Anyway, ושני עדים עברים באים זה מתחת לזה. When you use the term עדים יוונים, Rashi said that that's applied to Jews that came from Greek and they sign in their language. ושני עדים יוונים באים זה מתחת לזה שהעדים הראשונים נקראים עמו כשר. So you have here the first two witnesses that read is valid, because the other get, if you go that way, the other get is invalid because it's not considered signed by these two witnesses. You have a book called Imrei Moshe, Rav Braun also in Sharim Tzuyanim בהלכה, and you see it also in Nodab Yehuda. He said, usually you don't do that. You don't say to a scribe to write two Gittin. But if a person come with the two Gittin, so you don't tell him which one is the get for what, if you're not sure. You just, that's the Nodab Yehuda suggestion, because you don't know which one was his, especially if it's the same. Anyway, עד אחד עברי ועד אחד יווני ואחד עברי ואחד יווני באים מתחת זה לתחת זה שניהם פסולים. So again, if you have here a Hebrew witness, the sign in Hebrew, from right to left, and you have the other one Greek, that's left to right, and then need the signature of one witness in Hebrew, and beneath him one in Greek. So extending from the underneath, here's get, and underneath that get. So you have here issues, so both gets are psulim. The Gemara explained. The Gemara asks, ולהתקשר היי בראובן והי בבן יעקב, that none, we have a Mishnah. Just next page. בן איש פלוני עד כשר. וכתב ראובן בן עקמה ויעקב עד הבטרה. So the first line is Reuven, see it in your Gemarot, and the bottom is Yaakov. ולהתקשר היי בראובן בן, ולהתקשר היי ביעקב עד. So you have one side the Reuven bed, you have the other side, the Yaakov is the witness. So for sure, the Shulchan Aruch in Even HaEzer 130 have a discussion how exactly you put in the order. I highly recommend later on to go on all this is different nuschaot between the Rambam, Shulchan Aruch and Rashi. Anyway, Rashi here have a little chart, if you look at the Rashi, that nan ish ploni ed kasher, so the lo katav ed, v'bayteima le'olam dechatav ed, the din al ba'achatima delav Yaakov, which is only Reuven his son, which means you see under the left side, the left get in both witnesses, in the right side, that that is a continuation of the signatures of the right side. That's the way the Ritva explains. So therefore, the right side is valid, the left side is not. 87b, V'dilma bishma de'avu achatim. Maybe he signed the name of his father Yaakov on the left get. That's the way Rashba and Rashi said. So they said, Lo shavikin shmei v'chatim shma de'avu. People, I don't know how much nowadays people does that, but one does not leave out his own name and instead sign the name of his father. So the Gemara said, V'dilma simana shavye. Maybe he put the sign, his father's name, a symbol for his own signature. As a kid, my brother and I used to play that game. Try to have daddy's signature, which was very fascinating. So they said, the Harav Tzayer Kavra, Rav used to have a fish, a paint, instead of signing his name, you have fish paint. Rabbi Chanina Charuta, Rabbi Chanina, instead of his name, he used to have like a palm tree, a branch of a palm tree. Rav Chizda Samech, just write the letter Samech. Rav Oshaya Ain, Rabbi Baravuna Tzayer Machuta. So he used to have a sail. His signature, Mr. Sailboat, was a sail. Anyway, Tosfot said that even the Gemara said that in page 36 that the person should not sign in a sign, but here in the right to get is we can have that as a siman, but it's a father's name. So they said lochatzif inish l'shavur l'shma davu asimana. A person will not be so rude, so brazen, as to make his father's name a symbol. So therefore, we assume that the word Yaakov is a continuation of Reuven's signature on the first get, not a separate signature on the second get. The Mishnah said at the end of the Sota said that the Chutzpah Yazge, the time that they wrote the Gemara, it's 17 years ago, 1700 years ago. Anyway, nowadays people do a lot of things. Anyway, ולהתקשר היי בשני עדים עברים, ולהתקשר היי בשני עדים יוונים. So maybe you go one, the right side, by two Hebrew signature of witnesses, and the left side in the two Greek signature. Ditnan, the Mishnah said, get שכתבו עברית ועדיו יוונית, יוונית ועדיו עברית, כשר. וכי תימה, if you tell me, כיוון דמופלג בשני שיטים. So, again, Rashi said, I have a lot of klomar today. Rashi said, Vetana Didan, Vetana Didan, yes, that's soon, okay. So, לא, ואמר חזקי, המילה הוא בקבורים כשר, התנא זעירי, שניהם כשרים, ותנא דידן, דילמה גונדלית חתים, וכולו, אחד הוא דחתימי. So Rashi here said that it's not the minhagam, it's not the way they do it. That's the Rashi, the Rambam, as the Tosfot Yontov bring, is differently, also the Meiri have a different view. Anyway, let's continue. So the Mishnah said, Ed echad ivri ve'ed echad yavani. You have here one witness that signed in Hebrew and one witness signed in Greek. So the Gemara said, "Velit kesher hai be'ed echad ivri ve'ed echad yavani." So he said that let's this get be validated by one Hebrew witness and one Greek witness. V'hai be'ed echad ivri ve'ed echad yavani, and the other one the other way. Ve'atnan ed echad ivri ve'echad yavani kasher. We learn that if you have one and one, is okay. So they said atan ze'iri, shneim ksherim. Ziri teaches that both of them are valid. Betana Didan. So what's the reason for our Tana in our Mishnah? So Dilma Gundalit Chatim. So maybe son in reverse, which is one witness who signed in Greek, reversed the word order of his signature. So that creates Bilbul. Utlata Achad Vechad Achar. So it means you have three witnesses that sign one get and only one witness signed the other one, so both created invalidity. So when you create this confusion, I like to conclude with a story that happened with the in Yerushalayim right at the end of the World War I. So it was a very bad famine in Yerushalayim. So it was one fellow that was a total heretic and total against Yiddishkeit and everything, total apikores. So he came and he says, if you follow my way and everything the way I wanted, I'll give you the money. So Reb Chaim Sonnenfeld was a Kana'i, was a very extreme righteous rabbi. He opposed it. So it was one very modern rabbi that said to that apikores, let's try to work together. So they have a meeting. So the apikores said to him, look, I don't understand you. He says, Reb Chaim Sonnenfeld, I understand. He's going the other way around. He have his feeling. He goes to his way. I opposed him. We're on a different spectrum, but I respect his view. You, he said to the modern one, I don't understand. You are, like they said about Gideon, Ad matay atem poschim al shtei asifim. For how long you're jumping between the two? Make up your mind if you go this way or the other way, which show indirectly that deep down, as much as you have our oppositions, but even the other party appreciate when you are standing firm for what you strongly believe. And I think that's the point here also in Zeiri, because you have two Gittin that he said that both them ksherim. So basically you can make some type of the way that it's suggested, Shneim ksherim, and then we said that all this confusion between the two. Confusion, it's not healthy. You have to have a very clear direction either way.